Hey everyone, Quickcaster here, and today we're going to be talking about the March 8th update for PSO2 NGS. It has given us a whole bunch of things for this week, such as the limited time event Spring 23, a whole bunch of different items, additional campaigns, and more. Let's go through all those one by one, starting off with the seasonal event. As always, there's decor changes around Central City and other areas, and then also there is mischief symbols resembling cherry blossoms, such as the ones right here. These are basically just collectibles across the different regions and exploration zones. If you collect enough, you can get a title. If you would like a guide on how to get all of these, I just made a video on that, and I'll link it in like the upper right. But continuing on, there's a whole bunch of different Hululu Rappies, which don't give anything really different from the normal Rappies, but then there's the new 8-star Trunkul series weapon. So this comes with a whole bunch of augments if you buy it in the seasonal shop, but you can also get it to drop from the seasonal enemies themselves. To take a look at the stats here, it is a level 62 weapon and has 726 attack power once you get it to plus 60. So a little bit lower than previous weapons, but its potential is pretty solid. So it goes up to 29% potency, but that gives a different kind of bonus here. Damage resistance plus 0.5% upon critical hit, up to a 25% maximum. So this is great if you're trying to be tanky or more defensive while also having a lot of damage, because this is also a permanent change as long as you don't go back to the city, change the quest, or switch your weapons. But also on every Trunkul, there is this seasonal augment, which is only good against the current seasonal enemies, but it is a huge bonus against them. Potency plus 5%, crit rate plus 20%, and more damage resistance at plus 25%. For how this all stacks up against the current weapons, this is essentially equivalent to like the Claw Fist, basically in terms of its potential, giving damage resistance and also a good amount of damage. But with this seasonal augment, at least for this month, it is essentially a little bit better than the Astrian weapon by like a couple percent, but it isn't too huge. So basically you're kind of trading off whether you want damage resistance right now, or if you want that Photon Blast gauge charge. Going back to the rest of the seasonal event, there are new co-op trials with special characters, Peppy, Rappy, and Z-Tray that you can find in the different combat zones. And then also Giandy makes a return with her seasonal point exchange. So this is where you get the seasonal points from killing the seasonal enemies. They can turn it into different items. So there's the new special scratch tickets that we'll get into a little bit. There's accessories, motion changes, star gems, regular special scratch tickets, the Trunkul weapons that we just talked about, and here they come pre-upgraded to plus 40 and have a number of different augments such as that seasonal one, Errati Soul 4, Alt Secreta 4, and Mastery 4, which is huge for your damage. But then there are also armors that you can get in here, which are great stepping stones are getting you through the game. But honestly, this last one here is pretty solid just for endgame because it's a good defensive armor while also giving a ton of good augments for good HP and potency. And then there's also minerals, pretty much every single one in the game right now. A whole bunch of different augments, which this is the huge part in my opinion. So a whole bunch of stat 4s, deafness 4, which isn't really used for much right now, but maybe in the future. Mastery 4s, which is a great augment. You can get 10 of those. The Gigas capsules, you can get 10 of each. A whole bunch of different soul capsules, Dread 4, that's huge. And I think when there's the second part of this event, there will be basically double of those in a couple weeks. So then there's also alpha reactors, which these you just get to sell for 3,500 each, and they're pretty cheap seasonal point wise. And then there's some augmentation success rates and grinders, which you probably shouldn't really get. But now let's talk about the Spring 23 special scratch. So you can get the tickets for these in the shop here or by doing the limited time quests that we'll talk about in a little bit. But then you can pull for these in the shop. Play scratch tickets, Spring 23 special scratch right here. For the rewards that you can get out of this, there's a whole bunch of different things. So at top here, there's a whole bunch of weapon camos, previous weapons that we haven't gotten Almatis of yet, but then also some base game ones in new NGS spec, which are the Homura, Novel, Phobos, as well as the Ray weapon. These 4, I think, are a one-time deal with this seasonal event. So if you want these, you probably should scratch for them now and use either your select tickets or get lucky through just the pulls. There's also music discs, 3 there, a whole bunch of different outfits, emotes, accessories, but then also some previous mission pass items. So if you missed on like the early seasons, like 4 or 3, then you should be able to get some items from those. There's also a couple extra camos at the bottom here. It looks like twin machine guns and knuckles only. And then the generic stuff of augmentation success rates, SG and salon passes, that kind of thing. Onto the LTQ, or the limited time quest. This is a new one called Unidentified Region A16, and with this, it's pretty much similar to one in the past, where you kill a whole bunch of different enemies and get points to get a top score. So this score matters only slightly. Those in the higher ranks get more seasonal points, but it's only by like 100 or 200, nothing too crazy. But in the quest itself, there's a number of different gold enemies, the giant mutants, and you can take advantage of the mobile cannons, blast sign, and other things. They also say there's a time penalty for falling out of bounds, so be careful. I tested this just falling off the edge, and it doesn't reduce the timer at all. So I'm guessing they're mainly just talking about it takes time falling, so that's going to cost you a couple seconds. There isn't actually any time penalty. This quest, as always with the LTQs, can be accessed at the quest counter with the top option, just selecting that, and there's a number of different ranks. So at the first rank, it's 1243, and then rank 5 is up to 2878 battle power. But only rank 5 gives a one-time reward of 10 of these spring special scratch tickets, which is really nice, and also more seasonal points than the lower ranks. Also, for the rewards that you actually earn in the quest itself, there's a number of different things. So the Trunkul series, the Justinian series, basically enhancement fodder here, which is kind of nice. But then like there's augments of a whole variety, the notable ones being like Dread Keepers, and then the Masteries and Stira Notes. But then the main part of this is farming these Spring 23 special scratch tickets, which you can get from 0 to 2 of them per run. But this time, with the limited time quest, there is a little catch-all, at least a daily one. There's a daily task that's in the game, which allows you to get a guaranteed one every single day. So if I go to my dailies in this seasonal quest here, just completing the limited time quest with a certain condition, it being defeating 30 or more enemies without being downed, then you can get a special scratch ticket. There's also a limited time thing tied to this limited time quest where you get the Slayer Operation Prep ticket, a Slayer campaign for later, just by doing this 5 different times. Speaking of campaigns, there's a number of them going on right now. The first one being Great Bargains in the SG shop. So this will last the entirety of March pretty much, and there's different sets that you can buy that include different boosters and then Gigas capsules depending on the set that you get, and a bonus Mastery 4, which these S capsules are 100% chance to affix on any gear that you try to put it on. Then these each cost 850 SG. You can only get one of them per. But then for the next campaign, there is the Global 3rd Anniversary Campaign. So there's a number of different things attached to this. First off is a login gift. So when you log in during this period, you get a one-time bundle pretty much of 10 special scratch tickets and enhancement success rate plus 100% and augmentation success rate plus 20%. Then also during this time, at least for a couple weeks, you can use the Salon to Your Heart's Content campaign. So this is where you can go to the salon free of charge without needing a salon pass. You still need and color change passes, but they do give you one every week up to a total of 2. Then for the last part of this, it hasn't quite started yet, but it's nice to know early, is that there is a 5-a-day Spring 23 special scratch ticket giveaway. So between the dates of March 22nd up to April 3rd, you can log in and do a daily task, or you can get 5 of those said tickets. So that's really nice if you just don't really like doing that limited time quest. But then there are a couple more campaigns going on, such as the Get Big and Strong boost campaign and Enhance the Trunkul series boost campaign. For both of these, they are tied to the item lab. So for all weapons and armor, they get a bonus to great success rate plus 40%, and then add augments plus 5%. But specifically for the Trunkul weapon series, they get a 10% for that, and then a 80% and a reduced Meseta cost for enhancement, but also give bonuses to the limit break, unlocking potential, and multi-weapon to make the costs lower. And then for the last few things, as part of this March 8th update, there's a new field race, medial outer area 2 board, which is kind of nice. A new AC scratch, Mystic Explorer, which has a number of different outfits, such as kimonos and like sorcerer outfits, and then emotes and motion changes, that kind of deal. Unfortunately, no cast parts in this one. But then for the last part of this update, there's an interesting change to the ARKS Record Badge Exchange Shop, where new items have been added. And that is a material Aegis Integra, so an alternative way to get these for Neos Astrians or augments, where you just spend 10 ARKS Record badges for a single one of these, up to 5 per week. There's also one more thing which I almost forgot. There is a title where you get 300,000 seasonal points, which will earn you the Trunkul Almati or the weapon camo. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so for more PSO2 NGS content. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.